Hi, and welcome back to my channel, my precious little babies. It's like a baby. This week I drew with colored pencils because I need a lot more practice with different materials in general. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hello, my precious. So, as always, I was sitting around and thinking about what we could do. So, this time I was already working on this book behind the scenes just for fun, and I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to finish it with you. So, let's get started with that. So first things first, we're gonna make sure that we're all protected and get some gloves out because we're going to be working with E6000 glue, which if you don't know is so toxic for you. It's like the worst thing in the world when it's uncured. So let's put on some gloves so that I don't get any on my fingers because it's just really dangerous to work with this stuff. So first thing I'm gonna do is put these little pages together. This is gonna be between the cover and the actual pages. If you remember us making the little books a few weeks ago, the books did not want to open properly, so I was doing some research behind the scenes and I figured out that you do need that like weird useless page between the actual book and the cover for it to be opened and like workable. For the cover of the book, I did make it out of this cardboard that it used to be a ring light box, but I don't need it anymore, so we're gonna make it out of that. And for the material that we're gonna use on the outside, it's gonna be this like old vintage fabric that I have. I've had this for like 12, 14 years. And the first thing that we need to do is obviously iron it because I learned from last time that just because you glue something down doesn't mean that the wrinkles will just, not be there anymore. So this was a very important step. For the spine of the book, I used some E6000 glue, smeared it around with this palette knife to make sure that it gets in every little crease. Because this is really important, you want to make sure that the book stays intact. And I'm pretty new at this, so I tried to make sure that everything is strong where I can. And then I created this little thing that, goes in between the pages, like a bookmark. I think that's what it is. And then I use this fuzzy fabric on the spine of the book to make sure that it stays intact. And I don't know, I saw someone else do it, so I thought it would be a good idea for me to also do it. I also lint rolled this because it's shedding season and I really didn't want to find any of my dog's hairs in this little book that I made. And that was a very good decision to make because her hair is just all over the house right now. For the covers, I did use E6000 glue again, and this is where the mistakes start. Yes, we have mistakes in pretty much every video that I make now because I try not to cut them out. And the reason why this was a problem was because I put a weight on this and all the E6000 glue made it through. And so I got very, very angry because I love this fabric. And so to try to fix it, I thought the Mod Podge would, darken the fabric because it typically does. Like with the first book that we made, it did exactly that. It made the fabric super dark. But weirdly with this, I think because of the E6000 glue, it didn't want to like take the fabric. So instead of trying to make this work, I was like, all right, let's just start over because I had one piece of this fabric left that was long enough to fit these book covers. Let's start all over. So I took this Mod Podge, slathered it on these book covers, and then we're just gonna press it into the fabric. Not too hard, not like last time, let's not mess this up. But we did the same thing with the other cover. I put the book in the middle to make sure everything was going to fit in the end, and then we're just gonna cut around it. Now this part I haven't necessarily perfected, but it's just what works for me. So I usually start off with, some type of glue. This time I used some Mod Podge because it seemed to work this time. And after we, make it all sticky, we're gonna put the fabric over and just hold it there in place for a few seconds, and we're gonna do that to all the other 3 sides at this point. So this is great. This is really looking good. I was very excited at this point because nothing was going wrong, and it's just sometimes, yes, we have to start over, and I'm glad because sometimes you just learn the most out of situations where you do mess up a lot. So then we're going to take some tacky glue for the actual book. We're going to put it all together now. And now I know I'm probably not doing this like the correct way, but I think that's the part of learning is I watch other people do it and take their ideas and like I mean people do this stuff for like a hobby sometimes where they've been making books properly for a very long time, and it's not like I can just adapt all those changes all at once, but I try. And so I think this time it worked out so much better. And to make sure everything's flat, I'm gonna put this stone thing on top of it to press it down. And after it's been sitting there for a few hours, this is what we have. Now it's not perfect, but it is perfectly perfect for me because this is my first time making a book that like actually opens and is pretty functional, because the last time we made books it was not that functional. So I'm gonna put my name on the back side of the book to represent me and that I made this book. I mean, I guess someone could cross it out, but whatever. So as much as the book was pretty cool to make, that's not the video of this week. It halfway is, but we're also gonna draw and color something. And the first thing that we're gonna do is Louise Belcher from Bob's Burgers, and I made like a life-size version of Coochie Kopi for her because if you know that show, that is her duty buddy. It is also her nightlight, and I want a Coochie Kopi so bad. Like he's so badass and so freaking adorable. I don't know what your favorite character is from Bob's Burgers. You can tell me in the comments. Louise is my favorite because of all her weird little expressions. She always wants the best for her brother and sister, and she's so freaking evil that it's hilarious. Like, have you ever seen such a like more evil little child? I feel like she's like the adult in us that like just hates everyone for no reason, but she's like a little kid, so it's like pretty funny that she has this like weird adult way about her. If do you understand what I'm saying? I know you understand what I'm saying. So let's keep going. So next thing I did was color in Coochie Kopi, and he's like this weird little character, and honestly I just really want to make him like out of clay or like glow in the dark clay. I think that would be like pretty cool because I really want like the light up version of him. And yes, it's cool to just buy things and like, you know, support corporations, but I really want to make my own because I think that would be more special, and it like I would just hold on to it because everything that I make I honestly hold on to because it just has so much like meaning once you make it yourself. And I think it would be cool to see if this glow in the dark clay like actually works. I mean, I haven't gotten it, but I would get it for this video. And I used to have like a keychain of Coochie Kopi, and sadly, I don't know if you've had keychains on your keys before, but sometimes they just weirdly go missing. I think it's because you bump into things and then the chains like maybe break apart. And then I lost him, and I have not forgiven myself for that since. Honestly, I think about it like a lot where I'm like, oh my god, I used to have that keychain. I could have it now, but I was irresponsible and lost it. So for the background, I did make it purple because that's the color of Louise's room. And her carpet in her room is also like a different shade of purple, but I thought that would be like too much purple for one drawing. And now we're just going to add the highlights. I'm going to add my little signature, and here it is all done. Isn't this adorable? So now let's move on to the next picture, and this picture is low-key a disappointment. If you want to click off now, I won't really be mad at you that much because this is horrendous. And I know where I went wrong with this. It's because I tend to do this weird thing with my art where if I don't know how to draw something, I'll look at pictures of it and try to like almost replicate it. But the problem happens is when I know how to draw something, so I'll draw it, but I have like a very pop art, like cartoonish way of drawing things. And so when I mix the two, it just looks very odd. And even though this like obviously is not realism, when you compare it to the rest of the picture that I'm going to draw for you, it's like kind of realistic in a sense. So it doesn't make sense with the rest of the picture. You'll see what I mean. So my idea for this was, hey, I'm doing this for practice. So let me like, you know, make some trees, make some landscapes because I really want to get better at those things. They're just really hard for me to draw because it's kind of boring and I'm not good at it, so there's not like much room for creativity here. But here I am practicing my little clouds. I know, weirdly, like I'm just very bad at clouds and things like that. Like most of the time what I'm comfortable with drawing is cute little figures or like we just drew Louise. Like I'm good at replicating things most of the time. And so I was really trying to challenge myself with this piece of art to do something that I don't typically do and learn from this. And boy, did I learn a lot. Don't make this type of art again. I'm kidding. I'm gonna do this stuff again. It's just, this was for practice. So for the sun, I did choose to do this again, like very like cartoony way of drawing things. So I made the rays of the sun and I picked 3 different colors for this, like this dark orange, a lighter orange, and then a yellow, because that's typically like the colors that the sun you know, emits from itself. So we're just gonna make all that happen. And oh my god, this is my favorite part of this entire drawing at the end because it just looks so cool. I wish I would have like drawn a little fence with like a rooster on it because it would have fit so much. But do you see how like there's straight lines with the sun, but then with the trees and even the clouds, there's like, it's not the same type of style at all. Like at all. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying so hard. And the water, I do end up really, really liking the way that I did the water. And I think it fits pretty well with the sun, honestly. But again, it doesn't fit with the rest of the piece. And I don't mean to be constantly, you know, crapping on myself because I should be like proud of the fact that I am even doing this. But I like when you make your own art and then you see it after, you'll always see mistakes and ways to improve, which is good because I do want to improve. It's just also important for me not to like be too harsh on myself because I typically am just really like harsh on myself, and that's fine. No, it's not. No, it's not. Anyways, let's focus on the grass. I think the biggest thing that I've learned from this is that I can't just have my original color and then a mid-tone. Like even after I blend, I need to go back like under the tree. There should be more of a shadow there because the sun's coming in, right? But I didn't do that, and that is what I learned. And it's okay to learn things and not know these different type of things because after the fact we learned. So then I cover it with some matte Mod Podge to protect everything, and I forgot to add highlights. So I went back and did that, and then obviously I did put more Mod Podge on after that because we need to like protect everything. And the Louise drawing really taught me that because when I was making other drawings, it like imprinted onto the next page. Continuing right with the practice, we're going to make this girl, and I made her like a whole body because I typically don't draw bodies, but this time I did because I actually had paper where I could. Because as you know, I've just been doing really small drawings lately in order not to overwhelm myself. I love her purple hair. I think it's so fantastic. And then we're going to color in her skin, give her all the shadows and things like that. I think she looks really, really cute. She does seem to be wearing like kind of like heavy contour, but to each their own. I can't judge her. And now, please don't look at her hands too closely because they do look a little off. Again, this is me practicing to make sure that I do get better for the future, and her hands are just like not very proportionate, but that's okay. It could be a style. And her dress is going to be yellow because I love yellow. When I was a little kid, I hated yellow. I used to associate it with like pee. As many kids do, you know, like that's why most kids' favorite color isn't yellow or brown, because it's like poop and pee. Gross. So, but as I grew older, I realized that like different shades of yellow look really, really good on my person, like on my skin tone. It just looks really, really good. And I fell in love with yellow. And so now I do buy things that are yellow and such. Tell me like what color as a kid you used to despise and why. Like I also hated orange because like that neon orange because of the traffic cones and things like that. I was like, why would anyone want to wear that? And honestly, not to offend anyone, but I still feel like that about neon orange. It's just not my favorite color. It's okay if it's yours. So to really like make her stand out, we're gonna give her highlights everywhere. And I wish I would have like limited the highlight like down her dress, but that's okay. And then also on her hair, I wish it's just I love highlights, so I do a lot of highlight, but that's okay. So now let's go in with a mini haul because I needed a few things, and so I went over to Michael's and I got a few things just to make my job as an artist a little better, like that stencil. And then I got this colored pencil blender, and let me tell you, don't buy it. It is one of the worst things that I've ever experienced. I don't know, that looks terrible. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like making the colored pencils like watercolors. I don't fucking like that. What is this? Ugh. I knew I should have just got a white pencil. I hate it. Do they have a satisfaction guaranteed? They don't even have a number where you can call. It smells like alcohol. And then I got a new fine liner, and I got the Faber-Castell, whatever the hell it is, because it seems to work a lot better than the Micron. Please work. Okay, it's not bad. Okay. But let's see, Micron. Bless me. The Faber-Castell went over all of them. This one started out like that, but now it's getting worse and worse. Usually I just clean it up and then I go back, but I don't want to have to keep doing that. Between these two, this one looks better, but this one works better. The last thing I got was a sharpener. Oh my god, I don't even have to try. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. And then let's sharpen a cheap one. This one looks like it needs some sharpening. Okay. And it didn't break this time, thank goodness. I think I did pretty good with this one. I love this girl. But this, I kind of don't like this page. So I think what I'm gonna do is glue it together so no one can see my mistakes. Or should I like leave it? Like our mistakes help us learn things. So I think I'm gonna keep it because I want to make sure everyone knows that I'm not a pro and that I'm just in the same boat as some other people, that sometimes I don't draw very good things. So, but I got this thing to help me with proportions let's get into our next drawings, shall we? So this is our last and final drawing of the day because as you see, I made this little rainbow eye in the corner and it's kind of cool, but it's not my best work and I was just trying something new. So instead, let's end on a high note because I always want to do that. So to make it simple for myself, I made a bunch of toast because who doesn't love toast? And the first toast is going to have an egg and sriracha on it, and then the second toast is going to be peanut butter and bananas. And to be honest with you, I hate peanut butter and bananas together. I like them individually, but together, no thank you. And I mean, bananas, I feel like the only thing I can eat with bananas is just bananas itself. Like, I really like them by themselves plain and not really mixed with anything. Because when you mix it with something, it kind of gets like gooey and like slimy and gross. And no thank you, I am good. So, but, but they look cute. I think it looks adorable all together. And so this is like very simple and sweet. And again, ending on a high note. So, for our background, I did end up using the colored pencil blender because it's not like the worst for backgrounds, especially if you want to make it like a little bit darker. So it like worked for that, but for anything else, I just wouldn't recommend it. We're gonna put some Mod Podge on it and then let's get into the final flip through. So I did this one for my YouTube shorts. Then we have that and then we have this pretty girl. Like, I really like her. I think she ended up really cute. And then yeah, let's skip through that. And then we have the toast and the rainbow eyeball, and then this is where we're gonna end for the day. Hi, welcome to the end of the video. This is my book. So from the very beginning, we just finished completing this book because I have been obsessed with making books, and look how big this one is. It took me a while, and it actually works functionally, unlike my other book that didn't want to open at all. I've tweaked a few things. The first drawing that I did was of Louise Belcher with Coochie Kobe because she's my favorite character of Bob's Burgers, and I went to see the new movie and it is fantastic. That is the one movie that I saw that I was like, I'm gonna be buying that on DVD or whatever just so I can watch it over and over again. Next drawing I did was for YouTube Shorts because I needed to post something, and so I made this girl. If you remember, we made this out of gel pens a while ago. That was my inspiration. I made this one, and like the sun part I like, but then the trees, I'm like, that tree does not look happy, in my opinion. And then we did this girl, which I think ended up really cute. And I gave her purple hair because I think that looks really good. And then we came to this tragedy. It's not the worst dog ever. And then for this one, I was trying to do some like messy art. Yeah, let's just get past this really quick. And then our last drawings that we did with this rainbow eyeball and different types of toast. I love it. So this is just regular toast with an egg on top and some sriracha. And then this one is bananas with peanut butter. I don't like this, no, but it looks cute, so I kind of like it for that. So that's all I did this week because I will be honest with you, I got very frustrated at my lack of skills. The images in my head, I'm like, yes, this is gonna be amazing, it's gonna be so perfect. And then I actually do it and I just get very sad because I'm like, damn, I'm a bad artist. But I'm not. Like, it's pretty good. Some of this is pretty good. You know, I don't know. Anyways, that is what practice is for. So I'm gonna keep doing these things. Next week, I'm not gonna be drawing anything because I'm tired of drawing. But we'll do something fun. It is time for that time to say bye-bye to my precious babies. I hope you have a wonderful day because you deserve it. Probably. There's probably one of you that doesn't. But majority of people, you probably deserve to have a good day. So do that. Have a great day. Bye! Oh my god.